Now.
Okay. What's the first thing that pops into your head when you think about the 90s? Is it the music, the fashion, the politics? For me, it's the thousands of videos that I watched as a child with my siblings. But I'm sure we've all heard of history repeating itself. And to me, the 90s is repeating itself now. With the music, the fashion, everything that happened in the 90s to me is happening now. Today, in this speech, I'll be talking about a couple of things, the music and the fashion, about how they affect us today. The 90s music is the foundation of music today. Today, in a lot of songs, there's a lot of sampling, and artists sample music from the 90s and other years. For example, Undecided by Chris Brown, 2019 song in his latest album. He samples the song by Shanice, I Love Your Smile. And Lil Nas X, in his hit single Panini, he samples In Bloom by Nirvana. DJ Khaled, featuring SZA, Just Us, samples Miss Jackson by Outkast. Some might say that the 90s music was completely different from today, but in my opinion, it's not that much. And in order to fully understand how similar they are, we have to understand what the differences are. Early on in the 90s and previous years, rappers focused on describing their early experiences, violence, abuse, living on the streets, and the quote-unquote gangster life. And now it's not necessarily as rough and rugged as they used to be. They mainly focus on sex and girls and the superficial things like jewelry and money. And another thing to keep in mind is now we have social media and the internet. And before you do like mixtapes and hope to be discovered. But now you have SoundCloud and YouTube and Instagram, and you can put your stuff out anywhere and go viral, and you can get your start out from there. Also, with the music coming, but with the culture of 90s like being revived, the fashion is also coming back. With more artists embracing the 90s culture, like Nerd and Bruno Mars and Jay-Z. Well, Jay-Z was actual big rapper in the 90s, and the fact that he's embracing the culture now in the 2000s makes it more bigger. Today we see a lot of baggy clothes. We see the e-boys, which is basically grunge. We see the fanny packs, the chunky boots, mom jeans, crop tops, everything from the 90s that everyone loves is really back in fashion now. And in conclusion, the 90s is an era that will never die, be forgotten, and it'll always be repeated throughout history. Like I said earlier, the events that occurred in the 90s are still a big topic now. Music, fashion, and more. And they'll still be relevant, in my opinion, forever.
You done?
That was short.